Alright guys, so I'm going to be doing a review on... Hang on, stupid chair. I'm going to be doing a review of Reanimator versus Army of Darkness, Necronomicon Rising. This is technically the second, or if you want to be really pedantic, third Reanimator Army of Darkness crossover, because they did meet in Prophecy, so I guess that kind of counts. But yeah, so this is... from Dynamite, and it's always fun to see an Ash crossover, especially when it's Herbert West, the Reanimator. Now, it's kind of funny that they did say that they were going to be doing a reprint of the original crossover back in July, but I have seen nothing about that. Dynamite said... it's kind of funny, I messaged Dynamite directly and said, hey, are you guys going to do a reprint of the original comic? And they're like, yeah, it's coming out July 13th. July 13th came and went. I didn't see anything. I don't know if it got, held up for something. I don't know, but yeah. So this comic, if you're wondering if this is a sequel to that, no, it's not. It's a totally new comic, and the reason why I have this in single issues and not trade is because Dynamite lately has been kind of off and on about their trades. It's been kind of... Oop. So professional on this channel. They've been kind of, off and on about their trades and kind of slow about it. I know I sound like I'm dunking on Dynamite. I really enjoy them. I really, they're a really good independent company. I'm very excited for their Kong book, called Kong: The Great War. I'm very excited to read that. Of course, they are doing Gargoyles and Darkwing Duck. I mean, of course I'm going to be excited about that. And they have other titles I've really enjoyed, like Vampirella, Red Sonja, all of that. So I don't want to sound like I'm dunking on Dynamite or anything. I'm just saying, trades lately have been a little difficult. I don't know if that's just been production thing or something. I don't know, but yeah. So anyway, let's get to the story itself. So the story is that Herbert West has found the Necronomicon, and not only that, he's discovered Bad Ash, the evil Ash that Ash killed in the past. And Bad Ash basically tells Herbert, hey, you help me get to the Nomicon, and the Necronomicon, and I will show you how to be like an immortal god. And Herbert West is like, well, I always wanted to get past godhood. Sure, let's do it. And we have our story. So Ash is recruited by a woman named Constance Weird, who is part of this secret order they don't go into at all. And the two of them go to take on Ash, get flung into the future, where an older version of Herbert West is now this dystopian god who's controlling life and death. The book does something I really hate, and comics do this sometimes. Crossovers have been doing this a little more and more. For a 5-issue book, also if you're wondering who wrote this was Eric Burnham. He's done, he did the TMNT Ghostbusters crossover. He was best known for Ghostbusters at IDW. So yeah, dude has also written his share of crossovers from Ghostbusters. He's a very much kid at heart comic guy, but this kind of does something I don't like when they do in comics, especially when you have 5 issues. Ash and Herbert don't meet until issue 3, and when you're 2 issues into a 5-issue miniseries, that's a little bad. Granted, I have seen comics and it does work, like the Star Trek Legion of Superheroes comic, where it took till issue 3 in the 6-issue miniseries to do something, but there it was kind of more better paced. Here, it's just Ash goes on shenanigans and isn't aware of Herbert West at all. At least with the Legion of Superheroes Star Trek one, at least that one, they were kind of aware of what was going on in each other's presence. Here, it's more like Ash just kind of stumbles upon Herbert, and West is like, okay, cool. Yeah. It's also not much of a fight between them, because, yeah, Ash would win. It's more like the three of them are in kind of like an unsteady alliance, and the group is just kind of trying to get around the Necronomicon, and the future version of Herbert West, who is he's immortal, he can regenerate lost limbs. It's kind of cool, actually. So I guess that's where the Army of Darkness Reanimator event part takes place. The comic does feel a little all over the place. Like I said, the new character, Constance, she talks about being part of an order and looking for Ash, but she never goes into what that order is about. There's also Bad Ash, even though he played a major part in the first few issues, I completely forgot about him because they forget about him halfway through the book, and then he just shows up again. I'm like, oh yeah, you were the cause of all this. You didn't play a bigger part in this. I'm shocked you were here at all. Okay, I guess you're here now. All right, so there is that. So had to do, you got to deal with that. There's also the matter of the artwork is pretty good. It actually is like a faux Salvador LaRocca. It does look like the guy's trying to do LaRocca, but better. It's cartoony. All the characters sound like how you would imagine them. This is not a bad crossover. I know I'm kind of listing off some negatives, but really it's not a bad crossover. It's a very by the numbers, like, hey, I will say that it does feel more Reanimator than Army of Darkness sometimes, but it doesn't go too far into like, oh yeah, this is more of a Reanimator book with Ash showing up. So yeah, it's a fun book. It's a fine crossover if you are a fan of Reanimator and Army of Darkness. Yeah, there's also nice little references to not visually, like there's a clear visual reference to the Evil Dead movie poster, which I thought was pretty fun in the first page. You'll know it when you see it. There's also great visual gags that will call back to other stuff, and also nice little references to other things. Eric Burnham's a really good writer. I think he is a decent writer, and especially when you put him on projects like these, I think he does really good. All in all, it's not a bad crossover. I want to say that again. It's not an awful crossover. It's a fun book. But it's very incoherent, and the comic just ends abruptly. Like, I feel like this could have done better with a 6 issue, but they just couldn't get it. So it just ends abruptly, but it is fun, but I don't know if I would call this one of my favorite crossovers. It's just kind of cool to see Herbert and Ash meet again. So, there you go. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below if you've read Reanimator versus Army of Darkness, or Army of Darkness versus Reanimator. What'd you guys think of it in the comment? Let me know in the comments below, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.